5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, let's review what we did last time. Last time what we did was made a new starship called the Excelsiors based upon the blueprint off of the starship model object. And this is all based upon a constructor, which is our object and blueprint. And once again, a constructor is this right here. This whole thing, this function, Excelsiors, this is considered a constructor. Okay? And whenever we make a new object, not a new original object, but based upon something else, we have to specify two things. We have to specify what that object is based upon. This time it's based upon the starship constructor. And we have to specify what the constructor we're going to use. Because if we don't specify what the constructor we're going to use, it's going to use the original constructor from the original object. So we're going to specify we want to use the constructor from the Excelsior, which is up here. All right. Now let's go and review our code. I made some changes to the code. Starting from scratch, here's our original. And I just put for the defaults no name, no captain, and put 0 for top warp speed. I've taken out a lot of the comments to make it a little cleaner so you guys can see it. But here's our setter methods. These are all the methods that are attached to the object. Just like these are all the properties that are attached to the object. Starship. Starship, set ship name. Starship, set captain. Starship, set engineering top warp speed. To set all of these things here, we have to use the methods that we create. To print the stuff to the screen, we use the getter methods. Get the ship just simply returns this, the ship name, this, the captain, this, top warp speed. All corresponds to this. Just prints out that. The setter method gets some input from the user. The user types in these things here. But the getter methods, the user doesn't type anything. It just simply returns what was in the object. Okay? And from that, the way we created a new object based upon the original is we created another constructor, but instead of typing in all the things that was in the original, we just called the original starship call. This means that everything that's in the original, the methods, the objects, is now in Excelsior. And we want to add a little more to Excelsior, so we did that. Okay. And the Excelsior, because of what Excelsior is not an original, we have to define two things. We have to define what the original was, the original blueprint. So we go prototype. What was original? The original blueprint was Starship. And we have to define the constructor to use, because if we don't define the constructor to use, we'll use the original constructor from the Starship. But we want to use the constructor from the Excelsior. And this, once again, is a constructor. Think of constructor sounds like a construction. So the Excelsior had two extra things, was the transwarp drive and quantum torpedoes. So to set that, same pattern, Excelsior prototype set quantum torpedoes, set the quantum torpedoes, and set the transwarp drive. You can go through and look at the code. Okay? And to set all the stuff, all the properties, we made a variable. It accesses the new Excelsior's object and uses all the methods available from the original, which Excelsior automatically inherits. And we typed in document.write, and it typed it all in. Now, let's go back to our let's go back to here and see that later on, unfortunately, the Excelsior was destroyed Sulu is also yelling. But Starfleet says we're going to make a new ship called the Galaxy class starships. And once again, instead of creating the Galaxy class from scratch, what we'll do is we'll create a Galaxy class from the Excelsior blueprints or the Excelsior constructors to create the Galaxy class. Okay? So that's the key behind what we're doing next. And there's Picard screaming that his spaceship is also going to be destroyed. So let's do that in code. What I've done here was to create an object, do function. I'm going to create a Galaxy class object. And everything that Excelsior has, I'm going to call and put into the Galaxy class object. Okay. And I'm going to add this extra one. This saucer separation equals yes. Remember, because it's not an original, we have to specify two things. Where the blueprint is coming from. It's coming from Excelsiors. And what constructor we're going to use. Because if we don't define the constructor, it's going to use the original from Excelsiors. But we're going to use the constructor from Galaxy class, which is this. This is a constructor. To make a new Galaxy class, because we just defined it, to make a new one to call it, what we have to do is make a variable. And I made a variable fifth ship because the Galaxy class is the fifth ship that bears the name Enterprise. And we're going to say new Galaxy class. And document that right simply writes the things to the website, web page. And when I'm going to call fifth ship. Now remember, the fifth ship now refers to Galaxy class. The Galaxy class now inherits all of the methods that belongs to the starship excuse me, blueprint and the Excelsior blueprint. So I don't have to make any of the other methods or properties. All I did was just did this and this. And then I called it. And that's pretty much it. Save. Go here. Refresh. And this is what you get. All of the defaults that were from the original. The original had 3 Sulu's Excelsior, ship had the 3 original, right here, 3 original, plus he had his 2. The Galaxy class took all of Sulu's plus the original and just put it into the Galaxy class. And all the defaults are not set. All right? And that's the basics of creating another object with inheritance and object-oriented programming. There's the code. And here is the idea behind constructors. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go all the way up. This is the last video of this particular thing. Move me out of here. And you can see from the beginning. Let's go all the way down of what we did. We made an original Starship object with its methods and properties called constructor and prototype. The methods and properties are called getter and setter methods, which simply sets whatever is in the object. The only way you can set things the only way you can set objects in the set properties in objects is through these methods. Okay. And to make another starship based upon the original is to call the function again, but this time include the original right here. Then add more things to your object. But because it's not an original creation, you have to specify two things. You have to specify where the original blueprint came from, and you have to specify the constructor, or what actually makes it. If you don't do this, the constructor will come from the original, but we want the constructor to come from a new object. And to even make it even more, we made an even newer object from the object that got its inheritance from the original object, the 5th generation Galaxy-class starship. And of course, Jean-Luc Picard was the captain. He lost his ship, but it doesn't matter, because now you know how to make another ship from inheritance and from blueprints and from constructors. All right? Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye-bye.